Hey Sammy, this is Mr. Caslin. Just wanted to follow up on a problem we didn't get to finish when we were working today. This is the word problem. Now I've got a chance to look at it. The hardest part of these is just setting them up and just try to get your hands on as many as possible just to get to practice with them, and you'll start to understand them a little better. Now I don't have the problem in front of me, but let's see if I can remember what it was. I think we said they had enough material. I think the material was you had 50 feet of it to create this pen, this rectangular enclosure, but you only had 3 sides. And then the area inside, you were able to fill 100 square feet. So if those numbers aren't the exact numbers, then you'll just take what I do and you'll just use those numbers instead. Okay, so really we're dealing with perimeter and area. Excuse me, I knew I was going to sneeze and I was waiting for it. And I'm also writing with a pen, so I'm writing with a mouse as a pen, so I'm having trouble with that, but I'm getting better. Anyway, now you're working with quadratic, so we're trying to create a formula that's going to end up being a quadratic equation. All right, so we want one variable. All right, now what makes this problem hard is creating the one variable. You know with a rectangle that these sides are the same length. We don't know the length, but we know they're the same. So let's make these x. All right, we know we have 50 feet of material, so how much of the material is left to create this side? Well, we're starting with 50 feet, and we're using x here and x here, so you have to subtract those out. So think of that as 50 minus the other 2 sides. Okay, so 50 minus 2x. That's where the 50 feet comes in. All right, now we're going to use this other piece of information. We know that we have 100 square feet of area to work with now. All right, area is length times width. So you're going to multiply the length times the width, which is 50 minus 2x. Okay, and all that you're told is equal to 100. Now it doesn't look like a quadratic yet, but you're going to have an x times an x. So you're going to distribute these out. You're going to get 50x minus 2x squared is equal to 100. Starting to look more and more like a quadratic equation. I like my x squared, my first term, to be positive, so I'm going to move everything to the right-hand side. So you're going to get a positive 2x squared. Subtract 50x, so you would get minus 50x plus 100. Okay, now this looks like quadratics that you've been working with. Okay, set it equal to 0, and we're going to solve this equation to figure out the side here, which is x. Earlier today we talked about if you want to factor out the 2, you'll make your quadratic formula a little easier. 2x squared minus 25x plus 50. And that's probably driving you crazy because your handwriting is really good. My mouse handwriting is terrible. Okay, but you've got a quadratic formula here where your a is 1, your b is negative 25, and your c is 50. So you're going to solve for x, figure out what the length of all 3 sides are. Now what's interesting is you're going to get 2 answers. Remember with a word problem, sometimes the answers, one of them doesn't make sense. I believe in this case, when I worked it out, both problems made sense, so you actually have 2 different solutions here. You have one where your length here is really long and the width is short, and you have one where this length here is short and it runs, and you get something that looks like that. Okay, so there's 2 different ways you can do that. Whoops. Try that again. You're going to get something that looks like that. Okay, so both answers. See if you come up with I got something along the lines of x is equal to 2.2, and then also x is 22.8. So we can compare answers with what you worked up with your teacher also. Hope this helps. We'll talk to you next week. Bye.